Hey everyone, for this week we have World Football Summary, starting off with the Champions League. The finals left, and the finals between PSG and Inter Milan. In regards to the semi-finals, the Inter Milan-Barcelona semi-final was one of the most entertaining knockout stages games or pair of games in a very, very long time. Especially the second leg, both the first and second leg, and I think combined there were 13 goals across both legs. 3-3 in the first leg, which was just a really fun game to watch. Lamine Yamal's goal in that first leg, dribbling through a bunch of Inter's defense, was ridiculous. Even Lamine Yamal in the second game was, I don't know how to quite describe it. He's 17 years old and he's the best player in the world. For sure, in my mind, the most skilled teenager ever. Maybe Pele or Maradona, but I still don't think they were as skilled as he is at this age, especially with the consistency of his output on the highest level. It's ridiculous. Right now he's probably the world's best dribbler, probably the world's best playmaker, and he's only 17. To be honest, he still has a case for Ballon d'Or in my eyes. I watched a video the other day. It was a compilation of all of Lamine Yamal's goals this season, and the point being was that none of them was like a tap, and every goal he scores pretty much is genuinely spectacular. Thinking of all the goals he had in El Clasico, each of them is a star sort of finish. None are just mundane or just a sort of tap-in. And it always starts with either him creating through a really good dribble or just a really elegant finish, so like Karim Benzema-ish type of finish. Obviously he's left-footed, but just the finishes that he has are just extremely elegant. And then moving on to the UCL final, PSG beat Arsenal in the other semi-final. Not as entertaining, but still a very decent sort of semi-final matchup. PSG won. And yeah, PSG has a good chance here in the final. But to be honest, Inter's defense, I genuinely thought Barcelona was the best team in the world by quite a bit. And I thought that them scoring 3 against Inter's defense, which is the best defense in the world, in the first leg was promising and that they would win. And even though the second leg they did a really good job away, I think away probably had a factor. And then Inter scored in extra time to take the game 4-3, win 7-6 on aggregate, which is really close. But the fact that Barcelona even had 6 goals across 2 games against Inter's defense was pretty impressive. But I really thought they should have won. And furthermore, to add on in the second leg between those two, Inter and Barcelona, Lamine Yamal was almost more sensational than the first, even though he had an amazing goal in the first one. In the second leg, he just, every time Barcelona had no answers, they just kept feeding him the ball, and he consistently created. It was as if they were giving the ball to Lionel Messi. I saw A9 Skills mention this in a video earlier today or yesterday, and he said it was as if they were giving the ball to Lionel Messi, and I couldn't agree more. In the efficiency that he was creating with, but it's not just a Lionel Messi, like a prime Lionel Messi from like a 2010 to 2020 Lionel Messi, not a 17-year-old Lionel Messi back in 2004. Which is a ridiculous part. Lamine Yamal's still only 17. But moving on, Tottenham just beat Manchester United in the Europa League final. Their manager's been having a bit of a day at the press conferences, mentioning stuff as if that he never loses in his second season, or like he always wins a trophy in his second season. Good for him. They won today. They beat United. They'll be in the Champions League next year. We'll see what to make of that. But yeah, it's quite ironic that the same year Harry Kane first wins a trophy after leaving, um, Tottenham end up winning the Europa League final, which is kind of sad for him because, to be honest, the Europa League final winning the Europa League is more impressive than winning the Bundesliga with Bayern, especially after they lost it his first season there. But still, I guess he still won the Bundesliga. Furthermore, for updates, PSG Inter final. Tough. Inter's got a really good defense, the best defense in the world, as I mentioned previously. PSG is playing probably not even apart. I'd say tied with Barcelona. Some of the most exciting football in the world right now. The players that they have, Desire Doué, Dembele, of course, the buddy whose name starts with K. I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but really entertaining to watch as well. Just a really good group of players. And yeah, playing really exciting sort of football. I feel like right now the two most exciting players in world football are Desire Doué and Lamine Yamal. And interestingly enough, both of them look up to Neymar. Desire Doué plays just like Neymar. If you watch him, you'd think he's Neymar. Then I saw a video the other day of Lamine Yamal inverted, so it looked as if he was right-footed, and it said the same thing. It looks as if it's Neymar. So yeah, we just need to have a discussion on that soon as well. How Neymar is pretty underrated, and not just in terms of his legacy in football, but in terms of how skillful and how good he really was. But yeah, PSG final. I predict that PSG take it, to be honest. I think they'll win the final, but not by that much, really. I think they'll win it, even though Inter is the better team. I genuinely think Inter is the better team if they beat Barcelona. I still think Barcelona is the best team in the world. They had a bunch of players injured. Mainly Lewandowski was injured. But yeah, I think PSG might take it for some reason. I just feel that Inter's really good team, and I guess their defense will sort of dictate if they can defend properly, which they have been doing, but their defense sort of broke down in front of Barcelona, and specifically Yamal was able to just crack through them repeatedly. Keep in mind, no one else could. We just goes to speak to Yamal's performances in those two legs, especially the second leg. No one else could except for Yamal. That's why they kept giving him the ball. But still, I think Inter has the best defense in the world. They have a really good chance, but I think PSG will take it 1-0 or like something like 2-1. So they'll just win it slightly. And yeah, that's my prediction for the UCL final. That's it for this week's debrief on world football.